through my veins. On the pitch where the glory remains, the cockerel stands brave on the crest. North London pride, this ain't no jest. From lane to the new shining ground, echo chants where the legends are found. Heroes carved in the heart of time, we march on through grit and grime. Oh Tottenham, Tottenham till I die. Raise the banner, let it fly. Through the rain, through the fire, this is my club, my only desire. Oh Tottenham, Tottenham till I die. Raise the banner, let it fly. Through the rain, through the fire, this is my club, my only desire. Echoes of King and Greaves in the air. Every goal, the sound declares. Heartbeats pound like a drummer's song, marching forward fierce and strong. We're the ones who rise in the clash, numbers running in a white shirt dash. History burns in the roaring crowd, every game we scream it loud. Oh, I'm Tottenham, Tottenham till I die. Raise the banner, let it fly. Through the rain, through the fire, this is my club, my only desire.
Good afternoon, good morning, and good evening, wherever you are watching this around the world, listening to it and watching it as it will be going live on Spotify, I think in the next week or so. All these streams will be going live up there. I was going to do a show today. I was going to take the day off and just prepare for the weekend and get some prep work done and not really do anything today. And then I saw I was reading an article about Tottenham and about this season and the decline we have gone, the complete decline we've gone on this season, from Thomas Frank coming in to Tudor coming in to the sacking of Frank to the sacking of Tudor to bringing in De Zerbi. And we've always said, haven't we, during this season, can we trust the ownership? Can we trust Vinay and Lang? And look, the answer to that, of course, will be 90% no, we can't trust them. But once I saw this graph of where we were, the complete freefall we've been in, it really did make me think. And I got angry with it. I got angry watching this graph. I got angry looking at it. And the more I read the article, the more I got angry and the more I got frustrated. And then you have coming out last night, Glenn Hoddle saying, I was actually, after my stream, I was going through X, as I normally do, go through X, looking at the feeds on X and what's going on and any bits of news and trying to marry it up with the news we get from the people that we use and send it to him. Is it true? Is it not? So trying to get ahead of the curve for you guys. I saw this, I think it was a Jeff Stelling podcast, and he was interviewing Glenn Hoddle, which I'm going to find the podcast and watch it because I love listening to Glenn, because I love talking about the old days and watching Tottenham from more when I was a kid, remembering Glenn Hoddle in his prime at Tottenham and then going to Marseille. And him saying that him and Ozzy went into the owners and said, look, this is after we lost 3-0 to Nottingham Forest. We're offering ourselves to you. We're offering ourselves to take over the team, bring in a younger coach, and we'll help him, and we're going to unite the fan base, and we'll get out of this pub. And the answer to that is no, no, we're all right. We don't need you. We know what we're doing. Now, I'm not saying De Zerbi is the manager. It is the manager that we're hoping De Zerbi is the manager that's going to get us out of this mess. And look, the more I listen to De Zerbi, the more I watch him, the more I like him, the more I'm trusting this manager, if not this season, definitely next season, to take us on another level, whatever league we're in. So I haven't really got a plan. I haven't really got a sort of not a plan, but I haven't really got a. I don't feel bad they imported De Zerbi. I think it was a good decision, and it should have been done a lot earlier, in my opinion. But it was just again this ownership just letting us down. And the conversation I was having with Billy on the transfer show last night of Johan Lang spending around 700 million on a squad that's about could take us down into the championship. And every decision that's been made over the last 20 odd years has led Tottenham to this moment, has led the club to this point where we are. So it really got me thinking today, I'm so angry and so frustrated and so annoyed that an ownership that we trusted as fans have led us to this point, have led us to in relegation, have employed the wrong people at the wrong time. And especially this season, we never made the right decisions. If it's a summer window, if it was a January window, if it was sacking Frank, appointing De Zerbi, appointing Judah, we never made the right decisions at the right time. And that's the frustrating part of it. That is the frustrating part of not not making the right decisions. You look at other clubs that make the right decisions and they get a bit of a bounce and to get out of it. We haven't. And is it neglect? Is it neglect of ownership? Is it neglect that they don't care? And I think they don't care. All they care about is the money that's coming in. So I'm going to have a bit of say on that. We're going to have a little bit. I'm going to read out the quotes from Glenn Hodder as well. We'll talk on that one as well. We're going to go right with the fantasy league as well at the end, guys. I haven't given you one of them for a while. There's been a few changes, and I forget something else in there. But let's welcome a few people in. Big up to John. Great song. Yeah, it is. Colin does all our music for the channel. So he does it now. I have asked him. It's a pipe dream, but I did put in today in a WhatsApp message. I got a brainwave of an idea about making the THFC Till We Die album and putting all the intro songs that we've used into one album and put up on Spotify. Now we need permission, of course, of all the person. Now, hopefully we can do it. Hopefully we can do it. So it's a dream of mine to put it out as an album because we have got some great songs, really do. But cheers, John. Cheers, Paigey, as well. Afternoon, Pete. Afternoon, Paigey. Hope you're doing well, honey. And love this. Thank you so much. It really means a lot. Thank you so much. Big up the Randy Martin, big up the Spurs. Yes, Rodney, up the Spurs. Big up to Aussie Ange. Afternoon. Hope you're well. Big 3 points is coming our way over the weekend. I hope so. I really hope so, Aussie Ange. And he says, did you hear John Cross say Spurs will be getting a 300 million war chest this summer only if Spurs have? I haven't heard anything. A lot of people are going to put a lot of stuff out over the next couple of months. Or Tottenham got this, Tottenham got that. Look, once I get an update, anything like that, guys, I will bring to you first and fastest. But at the moment, I think everyone's just concentrating on staying in the Premier League. Everything else, I think, is put into the back burner, in my opinion. So, look, let's get on with the show. And this was the graph I was talking about. And if you look at it, we were second at one point early in the season. And then once we got to probably when we were fifth, then look at the downward spiral. We lost 4-1 to Arsenal. Then if you got another dip, then we had a little bit of a revival. Then on the 28th of December, we had our last Premier League win. And then look at that. It was just downward all the way. Spiraling down. It was just down, and then it sort of leveled out, down. We leveled out a bit, down, and now we're leveling out again. And as you can see, it's just little bits. Levy's exit, 4-1 defeat to Arsenal. Spurs' last Premier League win. Tudor sacked. De Zerbi hired. Thomas Frank sacked. Tudor appointed. And then again, downward spiral, and now it's leveling out again. And that is the point I was saying about decisions. That is the point I was saying about the ownership not making um the right decisions at the right time. And isn't it funny? And I'm not defending Daniel Levy here. Not defending them. And everyone's right to criticism. Everyone's right to criticize him. And he should be criticized. And rightly so, he should be criticized. But look how far we have fallen without a Daniel Levy there. Now, if Daniel Levy was in charge, I would have thought by we hit 12th, he would have sacked Thomas Frank down. I think that's when either we hit 12th or if we hit 14th, I think he would have sacked Thomas Frank there. Job, that's it, done, finished. Right, thank you for your services, Frank. We've made the wrong appointment. It hasn't gone well. We'll pay you so much off a month, whatever, on your contract. That's it. And then bring De Zerbi in there. Go and get De Zerbi. Right, we want De Zerbi or Pochettino. Bring him in, starting there. But they didn't. They waited to be dropped to 16th. And then they put Tudor in, who was a man, to be fair, never ever. What is with the revisionism of Levy acting like he would have done the right thing? Because I don't think he would have let us got to this point. I don't think he would have led it to this point. Now, the counter argument to that is he left Angie and all last season, which is a good argument. And yes, we did go on to win the Europa League. But do you think, Scott? Yeah, I know that's the argument you can make. But if you think before that argument, right, before he did that, everything would have told you up to that point, he would have sacked a manager if he felt it was the right thing to do. Now, last season was a bit of an odd one because, yes, he deserved to be sacked because we lost 22 games in the season. He did win us a trophy. Yeah, well, Scott, I've been same here. I've watched Levy 25 years. I've been following Spurs for nearly 45 years. So I've seen a lot of ownerships come and go. I just feel if he was still in charge, I just feel he would have acted. I think he would have sacked him earlier. And look, I respect what you're saying. I respect what you're putting in. I get that. But I just feel he would have done. I don't think he would have kept he would have kept Frank in. Now, we know Vinay and Tudor. We know Vinay and Lang haven't really conducted themselves in great business, have they? You look at the summer window, not good enough. The January window, we got players coming back. We don't need to buy anyone. I mean, that's the most stupid thing I've ever heard. But look at the decline, though. Look at the decline we've had since our last win, till we got a win at the weekend, right? Look at the decline we've had. We've had a straight decline. It is shocking. This season has been absolutely shocking. We've had ups and downs, and then that's it. It's down, stabilized, down, stabilized, down, stabilized. Now, could they be an upturn? Could they be a lot term in the last 4 games that we go up and West Ham go down? It could well be. But the decisions that were made between Levy exit to Frank to De Zerbi being hired, the decisions that were made in the January transfer window in not sacking Thomas Frank in time, by getting Tudor in charge where we know he had no Premier League experience, then waiting 7 games and then appointing De Zerbi. The point I'm making, I think, is why wait that long? Why did we have to wait that long? Surely a blind man could see we needed a manager with Premier League experience that would get something out of these players. it was quite obviously early on that Thomas Frank wasn't getting anything out of these players. And it was quite obvious to a blind man that even Paratici had went up to the ownership and said to them, look, the players ain't turning up on time for training. The players are taking the piss. It's like a circus down there. You need to get rid of this man. You need to bring in somebody in who can stabilize the ship. If you don't, you're going down. And they choose to ignore the advice they were given. No wonder Paratici said, do you know what? I'm getting out of here. If they're not going to listen to me, if they're not going to take my advice on board, I'm the one that's built football clubs. I know what I'm doing. I know what I'm talking about. If we're not going to take advice of him, then what's the point? If they think they know best and we know what we're doing and we know everything, then what's the point? Because you could have every football man coming into them and saying, "Win, this is what you need to do." Well, you can drag a horse to water, but you can't make him drink the water. If he doesn't want to do it, you can't do it. So if they're not going to listen to parent teacher and his advice and listen to him say, look, you need to get rid of this manager. The results ain't good enough. It isn't working. The players don't respect him. The players are now not turning up on time for training. They're taking the piss. It's like a circus down there. Get rid of the manager and bring somebody in that these players will respect and get behind. But they didn't. And by the time they did act, and by the time the Lewis family said, right, Vinay and Lang, you don't know what you're doing. We're going to make the decision here. They didn't have anyone to bring in. We had to wait 7 days before we bring in Tudor. And the first thing in my head was, who's Tudor? Who's this man? Never heard of him. And then you realize he comes in as a firefighter. And they're thinking, oh, we'll get this fella in. He does firefighting jobs. He'll get us out of trouble. Yeah. We know what we're doing again. And everyone's telling them, no, man, you need to get Harry Redknapp in. You need to get somebody that knows the Premier League. You need to get somebody in that knows the club. Oh, no. These owners know best. These owners know what they're doing. Oh, we know what we're doing. Leave it to us. 7 days later, they're sacking the poor fucker. Then he's gone. And then they're all going round, well, who do we bring in now? I tell you what, let's bring that De Zerbi fella in. Yeah, we'll bring him in. Well, De Zerbi comes in with his big wanger flying, said, right, bend over. I'm going to stick it in, and you're going to do what I say. Which is true. He bent Tottenham over. You do what I say. Because Tottenham weren't in a room for accepting, you have to accept our terms. It was De Zerbi saying, you're accepting my terms. I'm putting down what I want. And if you don't accept that, and if you don't sign that piece of paper, I'm out of here. You can go and get some other mug to take over. And then they got right, think, oh, we better give him what he wants then. Yeah, we better. Yeah. Don't worry though, we'll ignore half of it, but we'll tell him what we want him to hear. And we'll ignore it. And then when it comes to what he wants, then we'll just say, well, we know best. And it's going to be back again because you know full well in the next probably 18 months, we're going to be back here again looking for a new manager because Zerbi's going to walk out and say, same old, they don't know what to do. They won't listen to me. Football clubs should let football people run the football inside. It isn't rocket science. It's not. You don't have to go to Oxford or you don't have to go to a top university to get a degree in common knowledge or in common sense or logic. Logic would tell you footballing people run football inside, business people run the business side. That's what you do. Most successful teams, that's why most teams are successful because there's football people doing the football and there's business people bringing in the money, giving it to the footballing people to spend on footballers to bring in decent players to improve the squad, to improve the team, to take you to another level. This board, David, you don't know that. It's okay you're saying the board accepted Mourinho. The board say they accept everything. Why do you think Conte had his rant? Because the board wouldn't do what Conte wanted. Why do you think Mourinho was sacked 6 days before cup final? Because the board didn't want to pay him out, apparently, or allegedly, his winning bonus. So this board doesn't care. This board I mean, this board does not give a rat's ass about the football inside. This board, all they care about is the latest hotel or the latest business venture they're going down. They don't care. The football inside is falling to pieces. We have a multi-billion stadium and we have idiots playing on the pitch. And you're right, Scott. The drop off after the Arsenal, it's absolutely horrendous. It's just down, across, down. We had a little bit of an uplift. Then we had the win at Palace. After Palace, it's just straight down a greasy pole. It is shocking. And even when we reached second, right, then it was straight down the fourth. Then we're up the third, couple of games up fourth, down the fourth, then we're up the third again. Then we go down to sixth, then we're up to third again, down to sixth. Do you know what? And then we're up to fifth. That was our highest point before the decline. We were in fifth place. And at one point, I think I'm right in this. Maybe somebody in chat might tell me I'm wrong, but I think I'm right. I think we were 12 points or 14 points clear of West Ham when they beat us 2-1 at our place. 12 points. And now they're 2 points ahead of us. It's shocking. Of course he did, David. Of course he did. And that's the point I'm trying to make. It doesn't matter if you're a Daniel Levy. It doesn't matter if you're a Vinay. You should not have anything to do with the football inside. Footballing people should run footballing business. Daniel Levy, you go and do your business. You go and make money for the football club. You go and do what you're good at. You go and do your sponsorship deals. You go and do A, B, and C, and D. Then you bring in a Paratici. Right, you run the football inside. Get on with it. I'm not going to get in charge. But we haven't done that. We haven't done that. And it's shocking that the decline from Arsenal, the decline from when we reached fifth place, the decline straight from fifth to 12th. Then we went up to 11th. Then the dip. Then from the decline from the 28th of December to the point of Frank being sacked. And Frank should have been sacked after the 4-1 defeat at Arsenal, by the way. Frank didn't get sacked at the top of that pyramid. He got sacked when we reached 16th. That's when he got sacked. And then we spent a few games in 16th on the Tudor, and then went. It is shocking. It is absolutely shocking. Oh. Yeah, look, I said allegedly, David. So stop with coming in with the smart ass. I said allegedly. Nobody knows what it was about. I'm only putting allegedly. Okay. I know you I know you like to think you know more than me. And I'm a bit of a ticko. I'm not. Believe me, I'm not. But I did say allegedly, if you listen to me. It's for me, it's just failure of an ownership. It's just failure. Um, it's just failure of an ownership and failure of owners that don't care about a football club. Um, I don't know who you are. When you're not Sean, and my father passed away 20 odd years ago. So yeah. Um, and I know you're not definitely Sean Butler. So there you go. Yeah, my father died 20 odd years ago. So he's in heaven. He's grand. Thank you very much. Um, let's go and see a few people in. God, I do have some of the loonies do come in here. You're not wrong, Derm. You have some inside info. RDS will be. Look, I think RDS will be here next season. It's just when it does blow up. It will blow up at some point. We all know it's going to blow up. I said it at the time. It's a marriage of convenience. It will end up blowing up because somewhere along the line, he's not going to get what he wants, and he's not going to stick around. He's already said, than I rather walk than then be sacked. So we all know he is going to walk. We all know at some point something's going to piss him off and he's going to walk. We all know that. Um, yeah, yeah. I think that's the real reason. Yeah, I that's the look. You hear so we never know, David. We will never know the true fact what happened. You will never know. Um, and to that point as well, what's Daniel Levy got to do with picking the team anyway? He's the idiot that wanted to get rid of Harry Kane. He went to bloody what's his name, Tim Sherwood. Oh, I'm thinking of accepting an offer from Leicester for Harry Kane. It was down to Tim Sherwood that he played Harry Kane, and then of course then Pochettino brought him on to the level he became. But he was the idiot that wanted to bloody wanted to let him go to Leicester. I mean, that shows what a clever idiot he was. Big up to you, Killian. RDS would leave before Christmas. Do you know what? I wouldn't be surprised, Joe Bloggs. I would not be surprised. I don't look. I'm not in putting a past he'll leave before Christmas. I look. He not before Christmas. I think if he doesn't, if we go down and he can't see the investment to get back up, he's gone. He's out the door. Now, he says he will be here next season, but if you listen to what he's interviewed, if you listen to what he's saying, look, I will walk before I'm sacked. If I don't get what I want, he left Brighton because he wasn't getting what he wanted. He's left 2 clubs because he wasn't getting what he wanted. He has no fear of just walking out and saying, stuff you, I'm going. But this isn't about De Zerbi. This is about a badly built squad with so many players from different managers, an ownership that's not fit to purpose, and an ownership that off the field, yeah, Daniel Levy and whatever, brilliant. On the field, they've made a total arse of it. And we can't trust them. How can you trust Johan Lang with another window when this numpty spent around 700 million on a squad that's nearly going down? He did the same thing at Aston Villa. Aston Villa, the day he left, Aston Villa were popping champagne corks because they knew, thank God that fecker's gone. And what do we do? Don't worry, lads. I know a club where I can go to and ruin. I'm going to Tottenham. That's where I'm going. Yeah, I'm going to Tottenham. I ruined them. Don't worry about it, lads. I got a plan. And then you add another numpty to it, Vinay, and then you got the Chuckle Brothers running the asylum. Because I do that. Sorry, press the wrong thing. It is. They're running the asylum because they haven't got a fucking clue how to run the football club. Who in their right mind, right? Who in their right mind will come out and say in the January window when you have injuries, when your back's to the wall, we don't need players. No, you don't need players, Thomas. No, you don't need any players. You're fine. You're grand. Don't worry, you got players coming back, Thomas. Look, everything's going to be okay. We've got your back, lad. Yeah, keep you in. Don't worry. We're backing you up. Yeah, we're going to back you. Yeah, don't worry. Vinay's in there pitching in as well. Give him a few slaps on the back. Don't worry, Thomas. Everything's going to be grand. You've got players coming back. Where are the players coming back? Because, right, we've had Bentancur come back. Kudus came back and then got injured again. We've now lost Romero to injury. We've now lost Solanke apparently to a grade 2 hamstring. I'm still waiting to get that confirmed. I don't know if it's been confirmed yet, but we're still waiting for Tottenham to confirm it. And we're getting to the point where Mason Millia today and I think Lucas Barrett have been drafted into the first team to train with them. Have we got that desperate that we're going to have to pick kids now to go on the bench and try to get ourselves out of trouble? Because the people at the top didn't know how to operate in a crisis. What you do when you're in trouble, you spend your way out of it as a football club. You go and buy players. You get players in. Right, we're going to get him. We need a striker. Well, let's go and buy. Let's pay the money. Sod it. Let's splash out. Let's become big spenders because we can spend the money. The money's there, but the money's there for other things. The money's there not just for the football. The money's there for the latest hotel or whatever this at the stadium. I've always said it. Give me a championship winning side and White Hart Lane any day of the week. Not this new billion-pound stadium and a shit bunch of players. If we go down, right, if we get relegated, I still think we're going to stay up by a point, by the way. I still think that, and I still believe that. If we get relegated, we're going to be playing in the championship with a billion-pound stadium. We're going to be the biggest draw in the championship's had in decades. Bloody Lincoln Town were bloody calling us out. Lincoln, Tottenham away, ole, ole, ole. We had Coventry fans singing, chanting about us. It's embarrassing, man. And the fault of this lays on Vinay, lays on Johan Lang, and it lays on the Lewis family. Pure and simple. It's absolutely shocking. Levy only cared about qualifying for the Champions League. Totally agree. Wasn't willing to let points go in the league. Yeah, totally agree with that. I thought it was the European Super League would bring with chip in Gareth Bale that ended it with Joe. Nobody knows. Nobody knows. Everyone's got an opinion. Everyone's got a thought on it, but nobody absolutely, nobody knows for sure. Big up David. Our owner Joe Lewis gave 100% control of Tottenham Hotspur football to his godson Daniel Levy. He sat on every director's football. We don't know that for sure, David. We don't know. We don't know. Joe Lewis was the majority owner. He then gave his part of it, the 80% of it, to put it in trust, and then it was taken over by the Lewis family. So Daniel Levy never had 100% control. It was always had the last bit of yes had to come from Joe Lewis. Even Harry Redknapp has said that. Even Harry Redknapp has come out on podcasts and said that Joe Lewis had the final call. So Daniel Levy never had 100% control of Tottenham Hotspur. He may have had 100% over some of it, but other football decisions, and everything. But it was Daniel. Even Harry Redknapp said that even what was his name? Joe Lewis rang Harry why a certain player wasn't playing. So I'm sorry, he didn't have 100%. I get that checked out. I will get it checked out, but I don't think so. We are staying up. We're not going to win every game. I love your optimism, but I think we will do enough to stay up. Savio and a few other players. Sensei, yeah. No, Morani's not injured. That was put out yesterday. I think Alistair Go put that out as well, that he's not injured. Thank you so much, Paigey. Really appreciate that. Morani is solid. He will come good the last game of the season. Yeah, then he can go back to his reject bin. Now, this is the other bit I find. Now, Tottenham managers' win percentage since 2008. We've had Redknapp, Villa, Boas, Sherwood, Pochettino, Mourinho, Nuno, Conte, Postecoglou, Frank, Tudor, and De Zerbi. Yeah, they probably did think they hope. I think a lot of Tottenham fans hope he's injured. Give him the hamstring and let's give Solanke a go. So yeah, this is the win rate since managing since 2008. He's in a Redknapp there, 49%, Villiers Boroughs 54%, Sherwood 59%, Pochettino 56%, Mourinho 47%, Nuno 50%, Conte 57%, Postecoglou 41%, Frank 27%. Now De Zerbi's probably at so he's 1-1, drawn 1. So he's probably at 50% now because he's 1-1 and lost 1 and drawn 1. So yeah, he probably at probably 40-something%, I think. But look at the managers we've had since 2008. The managers we've had since 2008. Big names as well. Mourinho, Conte. Pochettino took us on the ride of our lives. Postecoglou given us our first trophy since 2008. It's mind-boggling, isn't it? I just saw that. It's so mind-boggling, the managers we've had since between the League Cup win in 2008 and the Europa League win yesterday. How many managers we've gone through. And I think only Redknapp, Pochettino, and Postecoglou have lasted more than 2 years at the football club. All the rest of their managers were sacked within 18 under 18 months. It's quite staggering, isn't it? It's quite staggering. Mourinho didn't last 2 years. Nuno only lasted so many games. Conte was out within a year and a bit. Do you know what? It's shocking. It really is shocking. It really is. Now, this is the bit from Glenn Hoddle. They were both at the Forest game. Um, we all sort of we didn't know then about Tudor's father passing away, but we all knew that defeat probably spelt the end for Tudor at Tottenham. And Glenn Hoddle's gone on to say in the podcast, says Ozzy and I made it clear that we were going there. They wanted us to go in there with probably a younger legend as a coach as well. They said they were looking elsewhere, so that was fine by me. I don't care who I am, who I don't care who I am, a Spurs man through and through since 8 years of age. So as long as I get the right man in, I'd be happy. I don't know what you guys would have felt a Glenn Hoddle and an Aussie, probably a Ledley King or a Robbie Keane coming in. I would have been happy with that. I think that would have united. I think that would have united the fan base a lot. Now, I'm not saying De Zerbi hasn't. I think De Zerbi has because I think the way his reaction to the fans on Saturday as well, I think that brought a lot of fans on board as well. And yes, we did have problems with what he said with the Mason Greenwood incident and at the start of the season. And I'm so pleased he came out and addressed that as well. And I think that won a lot of fans over. The way he addressed it, he came out, no, I'm dealing with it. I'm going to go out, do an interview, I'm going to deal with it, and I'm going to put it to bed once and for all. So the way that he's come out and dealt with all of this, I think it's been fantastic. So I think Tottenham, if it was a Glenn Hoddle, Aussie, and a younger manager coming in, grand. And I remember Glenn as a manager. I remember him as a player. He was my hero growing up as a kid. Glenn Hoddle was him and Mickey Hazard were my heroes growing up at Tottenham. Always wanted to be Mickey Hazard or Glenn Hoddle when I was playing football with my mates. Just loved the man. Worship the ground and still worship. I mean, Glenn Hoddle's the one person I'd love to get on this channel to talk Tottenham with because that man would have so many stories, but also I've just been so awing him. And to be fair, we've been very lucky. We had Mickey Hazard, who was one of my Spurs heroes, and that was a moment I'll never forget. And we did have Steve Perriman on twice. I am going to probably reach out to Steve again, see will he pop on at his convenient time because I got a lot of questions to ask him about Bill Nick and Keith Birkinshaw and the Tottenham from then to the Tottenham now. But do you know what? I wouldn't have had any problem with Glenn Hoddle coming in. I don't know what you guys think. I don't like Hoddle as a manager. I do like him having a role at the club, help bring in proper footballing people, not being. See, that's the point as well, Scott, isn't it? Why don't they have a group of Tottenham legends as a sort of work, a bridge between the manager and the director of football, that they could all discuss it together? And they know how the club works. They know the quality of player that would fit in at Tottenham Hotspur. So I totally agree with you there. I really do. I would have Hoddle would have raised issues with bringing in Lang. He had no success. Exactly. There's no accountability at Tottenham for the decisions they made. Levy's not accountable. He won't take any account for it. Joe Lewis, the Lewis family, none of them take accountability for their actions. And you're so spot on. That's right. If you don't think that RMK will do that, please. He hasn't done it now. So why is he suddenly going to start scoring loads of goals for us? He's been here since January and he showed jack all. Please just tell him to go back to the reject bin he belongs in. If he showed me anything, right, I'd do it this way, right? If he showed me anything I would have got behind him. I'd be behind him 100%. But he showed me damn all. He has showed me nothing. He has showed me jack shit of a square hole. Yes, he's had a couple of good games here and there, but he hasn't been this striker that he was at Juventus. It's and also just to finish off on the Glenn Hoddle thing, um, to turn down not one legend but two legends is such a slap in the face to them Tottenham legends at the club. The Lewis family don't care about our history. They don't care about the legends. They don't care about the teams that gone by. It's us fans that care about the years that gone by, or the legends that play for the football club. I'm lucky. I remember the 80s. I remember the 80s side. That's my side. That's the side I grew up with. Then it grew into the 90s and the early 2000s team we have now. But it's the 80s side that cemented my love for Tottenham Hotspur. It was a team that had Tony Galvin or Steve Perriman or Graham Roberts, them players. I was watching the replay. I saw a clip of the replay of the 8-1 Cup final. And it was, I think it was the second goal, the equalising goal when we're 2-1 down to Man City. And Graham Roberts made a fantastic tackle. It doesn't get enough credit. It doesn't get mentioned, but he made the tackle. I don't know if it was the second or third. I have to look back at it again. But he made this tackle right, and he gave it to Galvin. And then Galvin then, I think, gave it to Hoddle. And Hoddle played this sort of, he chipped the ball with enough spin, it stopped. And Steve Archibald's feet. And then he sort of side passed it to Garth Cooks, who came in. The keeper was coming out, and he just done enough to poke it under the keeper into the back of the net. I don't see things like that you got back to. This season, last season, the only thing I can remember over the last 18 months is Mickey van der Ven's probably a couple of goals, a couple of good results, and his clearance off the line against Man City. But these owners don't give a shit about their history, and we've got a rich history. Point out that Vino was a PR guy. He's not even a PR guy, Scott. He's a fella that you would probably put in a nightclub, and you put him as a door manager, and he probably balls that up as well. Kolar scored one goal this season. Not sure he's going to get a hat trick, but that makes I agree. Big up to Gosel indeed. That's how it should work. But we prefer a PR guy over footballer. I know. It maddens me. It really maddens me that we got two legends that are willing to come in and say, we bleed this club. This is we're the heart. This club's in our heart. We've been here. We've won things with this club. We've been successful. I was with the team that went down in 77. I came back up with it. I won trophies. I've managed this football club. I would die for this football club. Aussie as well. And they say, no, it's okay. We're looking elsewhere. No, we don't need you. No, you're fine. Now, they've brought in De Zerbi, and Glenn Hall didn't go on to say, look, he does feel that he's the right man for the job. But it does feel like a slap in the face. It really does. Bitter, so I trust what De Zerbi sees in him. We have the best manager. He will come good. Look, I really want every player that puts on our shirt to do well. But I'm sorry, it is not going to. It doesn't suit the Premier League. Now, whatever reason that is, he just doesn't do it. And then Scott, what does De Zerbi see in him? You're just bashing this. Yeah, behave, Scott, behave too, Beto. Now this is another thing that really got my goat today. Dragonson's agents at it again. Yes, he's mouthing away to an Italian outlet called Digisport. Now, there's been a lot of rumor around Dragonson, and he wants to go back to Italy and move back there. And his agent's been out mouthing it again. And he said, I said we won't talk until the end of the championship. He's focused on saving Tottenham. Yeah, he can't even trap a bag of cement. Did anyone see the training video when De Zerbi first took over? And he was saying, right, pass ball, one touch pass, two touch football. He couldn't do it. He just couldn't do it. He had to take 3 touches and then pass. And every other players doing 1, trap it, pass, taking it down, pass, move, pass, move, pass, move, pass. Him, he couldn't he couldn't trap a bag of cement. So, but there you go. And he's focused on saving Tottenham. He couldn't care less. Couldn't care less. His agent does more. I think his agent's probably a better player than he is. I've also talked to him last night, and we have no time. We have time. No one is rushing us for now. Yeah, because nobody wants to buy him. Seriously, you think clubs are? I think Bayern Munich looking at him thinking, Jesus, we got away with that one, lads. Could have bought. Yeah, we got away with that one. Something calls me. You realize I'm talking, but I haven't been contacted, and you ain't going to be contacted because nobody wants your player. He's no good. I'm telling you the truth. His priority now is saving Tottenham. Yeah, right. So why is he not playing? Please. He only came on for about 3 minutes on Saturday. De Zerbi knows his shit. I haven't talked to Fiorentina or Juventus or even Tottenham. I'll arrive in England next week and meet with Radu, and we'll see. Yeah, just take him back to Italy with you. Yeah, we don't need him. Please, just take him. Now, the Fantasy League. Oh, did this not come forward? Yeah, no, it did. Right, just to finish up on the Fantasy League. It's been a update, so I thought I'd give you an update today, guys, on the latest of the Fantasy League. Now, this is the bottom 12. We've got Tony at the bottom on 1,342. And Colin there's put up 751 points, actually. He's on 1,640. Now, the top 5. Am I not there? Okay, I'm in 6th place, by the way. Yeah, I should be there, but I'm not. I'm in 6th place. So, yeah, I'm sort of in the middle. Now, we've had a bit of a change on the top, but up there is James. He had the most points than anyone, 71 points. He's taken a bit of a commanding lead now, 1,836. Carl is in second. He was top, but he dropped down to second on 1,798. Ryan, who was leading all the way for a long while, is now sort of dropping off 23. He's dropping off the pace. And then we've got Dave in fourth on 1,746. We've got Queen Mary there in 5th place. I think she's safe in pace on 37 points. So, yeah, still a bit to go yet, guys, but we will see. And, guys, that is it. That's the end of the little show that can we trust them? And I think I've come to the conclusion we never have trusted them and we never will trust them. It's as simple as that. Can I join your fantasy league? I know it's late, but I only just learned you have one. I don't know if you can now. I don't know if you can. I will find a link for it. I will put the link in the next show. But definitely, I think I'm doing the World Cup one as well. So we definitely will be doing the World Cup, and we will do one next season. So yeah, we will get one sorted for you. But yeah, I don't think you can now. I think there's only 4 games left. I think it's a bit late. But yeah, but we'll see. We'll see what I can do. Killian, who's winning the Fantasy Football League? It is James. One of our co-hosts is winning it. He's on 1,836, and then Carl is in 2nd place. So James at the moment, James THFC, winter is coming, is up the top. So big up to you, James. And then at the bottom is Tony. Go on, Tony. Come on. You can't finish bottom, lad. You cannot finish bottom. You will get there. You will get there. But guys, that is it. We are back tomorrow at 8 o'clock with North London Talks Football, and then we're into our match day build up. Everything to do with Tottenham, Aston Villa versus Spurs. So we've got all the build up coming as well. But guys, enjoy the rest of your day. Come on, you Spurs. And yeah, I'm over on JOIS tonight football. I'm joining the gang over there to watch Arsenal lose against Atletico Madrid. So if you do come in the chat, just say THFC raid so I know it's you. And as Scott and Beto are still arguing over Morani, I'm getting out of here. See you later. Come on, you Spurs.